Any of the ones that are rapists, kill them. That's what I think. If they get convicted of rape, kill them. Exactly. I think we should do the same thing here. Somebody comes into this country, they're not even a citizen, kill them. Public hanging? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, maybe we shouldn't kill. Maybe we should force them into
labor. Then he says, calling for police to murder civilians.
No, I think anybody who's going around and trying to hit police officers or anything like that, that's just...
I think it's pretty wild for him to say that. So Asmongold says, if you think these are jokes, you're in for a very bad time over the next 10 to 15 years. Responding to an article that's titled, I Love Hitler, which is like, oh man, yeah, based. Yeah, base, dude. To which Gremlo responded with, you called for murdering immigrants last week. I didn't even know that that was the case. To which he says, post the clip. To which he does post the clip. Somebody comes into this country, they're not even a citizen, kill them. Actually, maybe we shouldn't kill them, force them into labor.
Yeah, any of the ones that are rapists, kill them. That's what I think. If they get convicted of rape, kill them. Yes.
To which he's going to respond to say, well, they're rapists. Like he's saying, kill the rapists. Like kill the rapists that came into the country.
Deport them all. And yeah, any of the ones that are rapists, kill them. That's what I think. If they get convicted of rape, kill them. Exactly. I think we should do the same thing here. Somebody comes into this country, they're not even a citizen, kill them. Public hanging? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, maybe we shouldn't kill. Maybe we should force them into
labor. Then he says, calling for police to murder civilians.
No, I think anybody who's going around and trying to hit police officers or anything like that, that's just...
I think it's pretty wild for him to say that. I mean, it's a wild position for him in particular to say that, considering the org that he was a part of and how many people had to leave the organization. But I guess they're American citizens, so it's appropriate.
There's no reason why anybody should be supporting that. I think,
like Guy's biggest dick rider and only remaining bestie is Rape Tone, who is seemingly a generational rapist. Like, not even has he been credibly accused by former partners, but also his dad apparently was such a prolific sexual assaulter that his sexual assaults were codified in the American congressional records. It's just crazy. I mean, what should be done in that situation? I am not an advocate for capital punishment. It's just wild to me that like he has this kind of attitude here for some reason, but he doesn't have the same energy for people that he knows.
And trying to hit police officers or anything like that, that's just, there's no reason why anybody should be supporting that. I think, yeah, that base. No, I think, again, I've said this before, I think they should use actual ammo, and if anybody throws a rock or tries to harm one of the police officers, I think they should just use deadly force to stop. And it's disgusting, honestly, that there's so many people that are okay with it. Yeah, shoot on sight. Absolutely.
Cops should be able to kill people with live ammunition if the protesters throw things at them is a crazy take.
Yeah, of course. Set an example. Yeah.
And keep committing crimes. It's
that'll
wrong.
Only increase the riots.
I mean, people in his chat are not wrong. Yes, if a cop shoots someone for throwing something at them with live ammunition, of course people would be like, what the f are you doing?
It would stop immediately.
Yeah, he's wrong about this, by the way. It doesn't stop. You can preload your statements with if they're rapists or if they're harming police all you like, but you're just stupid. You're just too stupid to stop yourself from following up with a direct, unqualified encouragement of violence and from the state, no less. Bitch-made peasant behavior. Yeah, I mean, he has a plausible deniability here. He'll just say, oh, I just meant for rapists. That's what he'll say. This is the difference between someone who defends people against state violence and someone who demands more state violence. If you demand more state violence, you will never come across as violating the terms of service. That's the difference between people, for example, saying that they wish Hamas was more successful versus they wish Israel was more successful, because Israel is engaging in state violence, and therefore it's totally appropriate for people to say, oh, I want more death and destruction that Israel is contributing to. Whereas if you were to say the opposite, if you were to say the inverse, if you were to say, oh, I want like more militant action from Hamas, you would get banned. As evidenced by, you can't say America deserved 9/11, but you can say Iran deserves multiple 9/11s, and no one will bat an eye. This is how it works. This is also exactly how right-wingers can get away with demanding and engaging in violent rhetoric with regular frequency while simultaneously claiming it's the left that's actually violent. This double standard is built into the argument. Zach is always copying your language, always using the words in the wrong places, but it won't matter until someone like a big streamer said, take 1 minute to go and undermine the streamer right now, and 10x more people would nip it in the bud than the few starting it. Every smear has a potential to slow down or stagger progression. Yeah, no big streamer is ever going to come out and be like, Asmongold is ridiculous for saying these sorts of things. I'm going to tell you exactly why they won't. I think you already know. Because every big streamer who actually opposes his worldview utterly terrified of his audience. They're 100% terrified of his audience because his fan base does not have any restraint. They've realized that they can just like go after anyone and everyone and name them, shame them, smear them, take clips out of context, constantly yell in their chats, go to every other chat and demand that the other streamers talk about this new victim in the crosshairs, you know? So that is the reason why no one will actually come out and oppose any of his viewpoints, even if they quietly oppose it. And it's not just Asmongold, to be fair. It's not just Asmongold at all. Like there's a bunch of kick streamers that do the same too. It just doesn't really matter. And I mean, look, I'm one of the very few people out there who does actually oppose a lot of streamers when they do. And look how much I eat it on a daily basis. I also do think that it goes beyond just Asmongold in general, because like if more streamers weren't cowards, the amount of hate would both be far smaller and more spread out as public pressure made it unacceptable. Shit ain't gonna change, but by burying heads in the sand, if more streamers weren't cowards, the amount of hate would both be far smaller and more spread out as public pressure made it unacceptable. Not necessarily, because I think for a lot of people, like a lot of the viewers at this point, because of the way that like online works as opposed to the real world, I think a lot of people personally consider being evil or mean as the most honest position. Many people who are just simply watching people like ourselves at home think that you're like disingenuous or fake if you are quote unquote virtue signaling. Is a really toxic culture that has been bred online, and it's born out of a lot of the communication happening in a field where there is anonymity. People are more vicious as a consequence of that, and people have no way of measuring people's authenticity beyond thinking that like they're authentic if they're being reactionary. Yeah, cruelty is shown as being real, and the people online are terrified of sincerity. Everyone is broken in irony and poison. 100%. Back in the good old days, in the Gamergate era, people saw being a fence sitter or being a centrist as like the peak of intellect. And now I think people see someone being reactionary or mean or a bully in the right-wing direction as like the peak of honesty, where they're like, this guy's authentic. He says it like it is. I mean, look at Donald Trump. It's the same. Donald Trump is very clearly a charlatan. And yet so many people look to what Donald Trump is saying and doing and go, well, he just says it like it is, man. That's how it is. All these other people, they're liars and cowards and they're dorks and they're just like fake. They're grifters. They're fake grifters because they don't have the same nihilistic position that I do. It's like, why do you care? Why do you care about the... You're being nice, and being nice is cringe.